into our second segment. And in this segment, we're going to be talking about the pivotal question, who was our artist of the year? And also, what albums or album did not live up to any expectations? Big boy questions right there. And do you know what? Yeah, I'm just going to jump straight in. I'm going to dive straight in like Trey Songz. What am I saying? So for me, artist of the year is going to be a mix of Gets and Larry June. Like, we spoke about Gets' work rate. We spoke about this album essentially being a triumph for Gets. Like, I know, Kevin, you saw Gets recently live in concert.
Yeah, it was cold.
And like, it's really good to see a veteran get his flowers commercially, and also critically as well. Like, very, very good. And for me, Larry June is doing the same formula that I love from Currency. He's not letting his foot off anyone's neck.
He just keeps with the same sound, but he's not gonna stop, bro.
Same sound does not stop. He keeps dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And guess what? I'm here for it. This guy makes such simple music. One of my favorite tracks from him is called Let's Go Eat. And guess what it's about? Let's go eat. Bro, so simple, but I love it. I'm here for it. 10 out of 10. This guy talks about 6 hustles, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, bro, I should have 6 hustles as well, you know?
Yeah.
And they just sweat up. I'm here for it, man. Very inspirational. And in terms of albums that didn't reach my expectation, this one here is definitely a hot take. And, you know, you can see our album review of this. It will be Call Me If You Get Lost. This, I don't know what I'm failing to see. It's in so many top 3, and it's literally all over the place. Like, this album is like one of the best of the year and stuff like that. But for me, it's just not it.
No.
It's just not it. It's one of them albums, yeah, where I wasn't expecting DJ Drama to be all over this album. Old school hip hop vibes, mid 2005. Yo, Drama
vibes.
Mixtape vibes. You get me? If it was like what's the word? Marketed as a mixtape, then maybe I would have liked it a lot more. Then I would have been yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was gonna say, I think that was also, Tyler the Creator wanted to elevate, you know, the mixtape. Do you get me? And that's why he did what he did.
And release a mixtape. Don't do it as an album.
I think for us, let's say for us hip hop niggas, that's the way we feel. But you get me? We feel like, nah, like DJ Drama is just mixtape. Do you get me? Yeah. I don't hear DJ Drama on an album. I hear him on mixtape, fam. Do you get me? So yeah.
Do you know what? Yeah, quite ironically, he's probably rapping the best he's ever rapped in his life on this album.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. I can't lie. After we did our review of this album, I listened to it a couple more times, and it did grow on me a little bit. It did grow slowly.
He's really good on Massa. Massa, he's fantastic as well. And I think there's another record as well. Lyrically, he's
Massa. He's incredible. Like Hot Wind Blows. Like Your Song Safari. Like,
yeah,
bro,
I think. Oh yeah, for Safari, I was like, woo!
Are you mad? One of my favorite lines of the year. Took my nephews out to Nice. They're like, "Who?" I said, "We."
Above that is and the instrumentation in the background. I can't lie. That record was on serious repeat, and it's still a repeat. I love that record, man. Fantastic song.
I think for me, I've got a hangover from Eagle, because for me, that is probably one of my. If we were ever to do a decade list, that album would be in my top 10 albums of the decade.
Yeah, a lot of people loved it.
I really love Eagle, and I said before, love when Tyler the Creator is emotional. Like, I'm just a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of it, and I think maybe because I've got a hangover of that, it wasn't what I was expecting. But that's me, man. That's what I would say. Henry, what about yourself, man? Artist of the year and albums that didn't reach your expectations.
So for me, I can't even lie to you. This is a very simple question for me. And obviously there was other candidates in it, you know, like Gets and who else? Actually, let me actually go through.
Gets, Jarvis Anfo.
Young Strapsy, fam.
Young Strapsy, Young Steezy, 50 Cent.
Gets and Vince Staples in it. Those are also one of my candidates. But for me, you can only go to one person. That's Little Sims.
Okay.
She's definitely my artist of the year, because not only on my list here does she have the song, my favorite song off of like all the songs on my list, but her album is also my favorite in it. So for me, there's just no like.
It's a no-brainer.
About this year too tough, and it's Little Sims. I mean, obviously I've been a fan of Sims like proper since Great Area in 2019, innit? That's when I finally sort of said to myself that, yo, Sims is actually hard, innit? Like, obviously I've taken a listen to her projects before Grey Area, and obviously they weren't hard. I
I
remember I told Kevin. I remember
Yeah.
when Kevin told me about Sims. Yeah, I remember like me and him. You always used to go back and forth because even though I got what he was saying about Sims, I did always say to him that I see something there in it. I always maintain the fact that I see something there, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Even though I saw something there, I didn't see this. You get what I mean? Like I didn't see Grey Area. I didn't see Simbi.
Simbi, yeah.
Do you get what I mean? But I think after Grey Area, because she dropped an EP last year called Drop 6. That was like a teaser to Simbi, innit? And obviously Drop 6, even though it was a teaser, it was like 4 or 5 songs in it. It was an EP, but I thought, shit, okay, cool. Sims is coming, innit? Like she's actually coming. She's coming. And then obviously Simbi dropped, and yeah, for me, she solidified herself as one of the best artists in the UK. I mean, for me, yeah, if Sims is not in your top 5 UK artists, that list is invalid to me.
Jeez.
If Simbi's not in there, that list is invalid to me. Or if Simbi's, if Lil Sims is not even in the top 3, bro, that list is invalid to me, innit? Understand? We need to start talking about her as the best or one of the best in the UK, innit? She
definitely is in that list. She's definitely
she definitely is on that list, and I feel like I said, this album, solidifies that.
H, can you just momentarily as well, because I remember you brought this up to me and I thought it was actually a big point that I would love for you to raise, is even commercially as well, she did stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Commercially, I mean, if it wasn't for, I think on the week that her album got released, a couple big releases got released as well. I think Ed Sheeran's album, not Ed Sheeran, maybe Ed Sheeran, I can't remember, but basically, if it wasn't for those 2 big releases, then she would have got the #1 spot on the UK chart. So that just goes to show you, man, like, commercially, not only critically, but commercially, Lil Sims is doing bits. And obviously, she released that album via Able, which is obviously an independent label. So the fact that she did over 10K independent, for Sims, I mean, that just goes to show you, bro, like her star power is being felt all throughout, innit? So yeah, like for me, Lil Sims is definitely my artist of the year, man, 100%. And I feel like she thoroughly deserves it, But I'm interested to see, like, because she, in my opinion, she's released 2 classics in a row. So, like, what else can she do?
It's early days in the US.
Yeah. What more can she do in it? Like,
it's interesting.
I feel like the question that I have is, like, how can she top Simbi?
It's early. I can't lie. It's early days in it. She got like 2, but yeah, it's for sure. Like, how can she do? I think she can. If she follows a different sound, I think it's possible. But
I didn't think she could top Grey Area.
Oh, that's true.
I think she could top Grey Area, and then she came with Simbi.
Isn't she trying to get into acting as well?
Yes, she is. Yeah.
She released a short film. Yeah.
So I feel like she's going to be one of these artists who's like a 360 act. Do you know what I mean? Go do some acting for a little bit and then come back years later with a freaking fire album.
Yeah.
Go back and do some acting.
Because Lil Sims is very much an artist. Like, she's an artist. Do you get what I mean? Like, just in terms of her visual, just in terms of her sound, like, she takes the whole craft seriously, and you can tell in her music. Do you get what I mean? Like, she's an artist. Like, I would love to work with Sims one day, But yeah, like, for me, it's a no-brainer. I'll give it to Lil Sims as my artist of the year. And obviously, just in terms of the albums that didn't live up to my expectation, I've got 2 in it. Jay, you've already mentioned one. That's Tyler, the Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost. Like, for me, I have big expectations of Tyler, so maybe it's gone against him in some sort of way, because obviously for me, he's released two classic albums in a row. Obviously, Flower Boy and Eagle. Do you understand? Flower Boy and Eagle. So I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe I was expecting a 3rd classic in it. I don't know, because obviously those are the type of expectations I put on Tyler. Like, Tyler's one of my favorite artists, isn't it? I know, Jay, you were on Tyler first, innit? Like, you've been on Tyler. You've been a fan of Tyler.
Early since like uni.
Yeah. You're the one that actually got me into Tyler like that. I remember you told me to listen to Flower Boy, innit? And then I listened to Flower Boy. Then ever since then, I've been a Tyler head. And then obviously I listened to his previous albums as well. But yeah, like, maybe I was expecting too much from Tyler this time around, didn't it? But Call Me If You Get Lost, yeah. Like again, it has some very great songs on it. I mean, we've touched on it already, like Safari, you know,
Wilshire.
Yeah, which I had on my list, but as an album on the whole, I think it's the whole DJ Drama thing. I think that thing.
Don't make you get lost.
It became very jarring after a while, didn't it? Like,
oh boy.
In my opinion, like if you wanted to do this, then this, like I said, release the mixtape. Like the thing is, if it was billed as a mixtape, then I would understand it a bit more, and I wouldn't judge it as harshly as I'm judging it. But the fact that this is this is an album, yeah, and you have that on it, like, yeah, nah, man. For me.
Can I ask something? Is it a bit like, you know how old people be like, oh, what's that boom bap music? What's that hip hop music? is that what we do it? Because we sort of we know the mixtape, we heard loads of mixtape, but is it because we got it so entrenched in our head that this is mixtape music that we can't accept it, that it can also be album music?
But then I just also think, go on, Jay, go on.
I was just gonna say, bro, the mixtape is a sacred art, bro. It's a sacred art. Okay, I'm sounding like an old head.
Yeah, you are sounding like an old head, man.
It's a sacred art, and when you go to a mixtape, you go to hear. They've got
DJ Drama.
Yeah, the MC. Yo, you know what time it is? Yeah. Drama. You go for all of them effects in it. You go there for that on the album,
but not an album.
Not an album.
Album. And I remember when I heard it, when I heard the first song and DJ Drama was screaming all over it, I thought, all right, cool, innit? Like, this is just gonna be a one song thing. And then I listened to the second song, DJ Drama was still screaming. And I was like, nah, bruv, what is this? And then the third, fourth, fifth, I was like, nah, bruv, nah. So you mean to tell me that you've done this for the whole album? Nah. I was there, no. But yeah, man. Tyler's still one of my favorite artists, but this album was, it definitely, because I was looking forward to it as well. Like, I was looking forward to Tyler releasing something. Do you get what I mean? So the fact that he released this and it didn't meet up to my expectations, I was disappointed, bro. I can't lie. I feel like Tyler can do way better than this. But yeah, it's not a terrible album. It's not a terrible album, but I expected better. And obviously the second one, boy. Obviously it comes from one of my favorite artists, Kanye, Donda.
Big shout.
Yeah, man. I mean, boy, I don't even know. Even now, I'm still disappointed, man, because
months later, bro, sitting there.
Months later, I'm just like, what the hell was my man thinking, bro? Do you know what I mean? What the hell was my man thinking? Yeah, like, because I remember, like, obviously this whole album, it's had a lot of chop and change since obviously he announced it last year, innit? Yeah. First it was called I think it was called God's Son or something, and then it was called, and then I remember Dr. Dre was supposed to be producing half of it, you know what I mean? And then he renamed it God's Country, and then I think he had another name for it, and then I think he settled on Donda. Mm-hmm. And then obviously, with Kanye, like a lot of things are very unstable. So, the rollout for this was just a mess, innit? It was just an absolute mess.
It was. Worst. I think actually worst rollout this year, 100%.
Worst rollout, 100%.
The rollout was terrible, fam.
The rollout for this was terrible. Do you get what I mean? And like, it just seemed very rushed.
Functional as well, yeah.
Yeah. It didn't seem like Kanye had a plan. Do you get what I mean? Like, he was just operating on vibes. That's what when you listen to the album.
Vibes and inshallah, fam.
Vibes and inshallah, yeah. And when you listen to the sound, like, bruv, man had a live stream of him, making the album, bro. And remember, making the album and what's it called?
Doing press ups, fam.
Press ups and sleeping in the stadium, blood. I was like, this nigga's lost his mind, bro.
Yeah,
when I saw that, I was like, bruv, this album is not. And then I heard about their features as well, the likes of the baby. You might know how I feel about the baby. What I'm saying, like, I said, Kanye's lost his damn mind, he's lost his damn mind. Then I heard that this album was gonna feature like 15, 20 artists. And then obviously I listened to the album and I was like, this is absolute trash. Yeah. This is absolute trash. And it hurt my heart because it's not like I was expecting late registration, college dropout, might be for Dark Twisted Fantasy, but I was expecting way better than this. You know what I mean? Because Kanye's still Kanye. Yes, he's released a couple dud albums over the last years, So maybe it's my fault, innit, for expecting too much. But it's still Kanye, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? He's still one of the greatest artists of all time. So it's like you still hang on to some sort of hope that any project that he releases will be decent. Do you get it? But you know, yeah, man, Donda, absolute trash. One of the worst albums of this year.
Can I put something in there? I think I also got it in my trash list as well. But loads of people actually tend to like the album, and I'm kind of conflicted about it. Like, what do you think about it? Because every time I hear Donda, I hear how empty it is in comparison to some of his great work. And even an album like Graduation, for me, that I don't think is even amazing, you can hear just how excellent the production is. You get me? But with Donda, it just seems like, you know, songs are half finished, half ideas. Do you think that most people who are liking it are taking into account his past work, or they're just really liking it for the quality that it is? What do you think? No, do you get?
To be honest with you, like I just feel because again, how long is this album? Like it's got 25 tracks long or something.
Yeah, around the rough with that, yeah.
Yeah, which is way too long. I mean, for starters, what is Kanye trying to do?
Yeah.
What is Kanye trying to do? And I know obviously some people like the album. Me personally, I don't know why, but obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I don't know. Maybe some people, I don't know. See, with Kanye, even though he's my favorite artist, yeah, I can be objective when it comes to him. But a lot of Kanye heads can't. Do you understand? A lot of people that are Kanye fans can't be just like Kev. Most of the people that are saying they're fans of their albums are Kanye stans. Let's be real. Do you understand? They're Kanye stans. It's just that real. And a lot of Kanye fans cannot be objective to save their life, innit? So I feel like even a lot of them are forcing them to like it, even though
we in the cream.
Yeah. I mean, come on, bro. Bro, the whole it just makes no sense, bro. I mean, again, at times, yeah, Kanye's rollers have been kind of all over the place, but good music has still been produced. Do you get what I mean? But this time around, I can't say. I'll probably, bruv, maybe 1.5, 2 records from like 25, 26 from a Kanye project.
Yeah.
Like, for me to say that, nah. The albums is hella trash, man. It's hella trash. And for me now, yeah, I've got to the point with Kanye. It's sad to say this, innit? But I've got to the point with Kanye where it's like, Kanye, just pack it in, innit? In terms of solo projects, pack it in. Because what he's doing now, yeah, in my opinion, he's not tarnishing his legacy, but this is now like 3 mediocre or mid-level albums, in a row.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Like, and I don't want, obviously, especially this new generation as well. This new generation don't know Kanye, like the old Kanye. They only know this version of Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know the late registration, the college dropout, when Kanye was releasing 4 classics in a row. They don't know about that. So they only know this Kanye. And I feel like Kanye is now, again, I wouldn't go as far as say he's tainting his legacy, because Kanye's his legacy is solidified, isn't it? But like, bro, 3 mid-level albums in a row. If this was Drake, man would be getting onto him hard. You know what I mean? If this was Drake, I'd be getting on. So I have to have the same energy for Kanye. Like, so for me, I just feel like Kanye has now lost the ability to make a good album, innit?
Yeah.
Not as a producer. So producer's always gonna have it. But I'm just in terms of him as an artist.
Solo, yeah.
When was the last time Kanye released a decent project?
Jesus. Yeah, I'll say Jesus as well, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, T.O.P. wasn't dead. Like, when you even think about it, T.O.P. compared to these last 3 albums that Kanye's released here, T.O.P. looks like a fucking classic, bro.
Yeah, and I despise that album as well.
I despise. But when you actually look at it,
it's 100%. You're right.
You're thinking T.O.P. That's a classic, bro, compared to these 3 albums.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's how bad it's gotten for Kanye. So, in my opinion, I just don't want Kanye to dent his thing even further. So for me, Kanye just needs to pack it in, man, and just call it a day on his solo material, man.
Bro, Henry, you're speaking some very, very strong words about Mr. Yeezy himself.
Well, he's my guy. Kanye's my favorite artist, but yeah.
No, you're speaking facts, bro. And just to add on that point, I thought it was a disgrace he named it after his mum. But anyway,
I like. And that's what I feel as well, Jay. That's a good point as well. Like, your album Thunder, bro. Come with some fire, bro. Do you understand? Come with. Again, I'm not expecting a classic, but come with something.
Nah. Henry, he named it after his dead mum. It has to be a classic, fam. It has to be a classic. It has to. There's no way you can call it after Miss. Bro, it's similar to the legendary album Miss Gladys.
That's still yet to see the light of day, fam.
Bro, when you name an album after your mum, that's the type of pressure you're under. That album's been in the works for 10 years, fam.
For a decade, isn't it, fam? For a decade.
A decade. No, so you're speaking some facts. I definitely agree with you. Money Man, what are we saying, Pratesh? Who's your artist of the year? And, you know, what albums weren't really doing it for you this year?
Artist of the year. It's hard to pinpoint one, to be fair. To be honest, I've discovered quite a few new artists this year, so it's hard to pinpoint one, but I'm going to name artists that wasn't on any of my lists. Bad Bad Not Good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy they released the album. I think the last one they released was the one with Ghostface back in like 2015 or something like that. But yeah, I've been listening to them since about 2012, 2013, been to see them live. And then I remember one of the members left about 2 or 3 years ago, and I was like, oh shit, this is it, they're dead. But yeah, it's nice to see them come back and like release an album. And again, they're touring next year. They're going to be in England next December, I think. So yeah, it's just nice. Like when you think when you're proper like an artist and you think they're absolutely done, and like they're basically disbanded, they're not going to release anything. It's nice to see them come back with an album that's good as well. It's not like they brought in some random person and made an absolutely trash album. It is actually a good album. So yeah, I'll probably go for them. In terms of disappointing album, I'm probably going to go with Gold Link, Haram.
Okay.
What about that one? Oh my god, yeah.
I thought I'm usually a big Gold Link fan. Like his first mixtape, the one that Crew was on. At what cost? I think that mixtape was hard. And then he's a few of his other songs that he's come out with, like Got Muscle and stuff like that. I really liked as well, but this album was trash. The mixing was terrible. Sequence. Usually his albums are sequenced very well. This one wasn't sequenced well at all. He distorted his vocals on pretty much every track. I don't understand why, but it just came out sounding horrible. Like none of the tracks had his like natural voice. It was all distorted vocals. Some of his lyrical content was just like it's talking about running up on people and stuff, and I was just like, this ain't you. And then he's got this beef with Sheck West as well. I think Sheck West comes up about like fucking 4 to 5 times in songs, and I'm just like, yeah, you ain't gonna do anything to Sheck West. Just fucking focus on what you're good at and just stop trying to like.
Can I ask?
Like with Currency stays in his lane, and I like Currency. I like Larry June. Goldlink usually has a specific style and he sticks to it for the most part, and it works out well. He's tried to change it up here and it just hasn't worked at all.
Is he still on a major? Like, is he still on a major?
Yeah.
And so that album came on a major label as well?
Yeah, wow. Didn't have any heart though, did it? Compared to his last few.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah, album's trash.
I completely forgot about that album. I definitely
Same here.
The album is freaking terrible. Hold to him for getting the Pink Panthers feature early though. Okay, what we saying, bro? Talk to me, bro. Artist of the year and your album that didn't reach your expectations.
Yeah, artist of the year is Gets, man. Like I think Gets simply because of the growth. Normally an artist that's been in the game for as long as he's been in the game, and especially with Gets has had an interesting career. His career has not been as strong, let's say like Kano, Skepta, even Dizzy. Like he never reached those commercial heights, and I think he was very, very well rated as an MC. Like as an MC, on a good day, he can go toe-to-toe with some of my favorite MCs of all time and even win. But it just seems like in terms of projects that there were good songs, great stuff here and then, but not necessarily maybe full-on project, though hardcore Gets fan probably would disagree with my statement. I just felt like this year he finally got it right, not just getting the critical side that he's sort of been perfecting over these years as well with the 2018 album, which apparently was also very good, and I heard some records on this, but it also got the commercial element to it as well. And finally, he's reaching that stage now where he's up there with his peers. And even when I went to the concert, I saw it, like the way Dizzy Rascal was showing him love. Kano was showing him love. Even the new young guys, like Back Row G and other artists that were on the album were showing him serious love. He's now at that place where it's like, yo, even though you're one of the old lot, you are respected. It's a bit like Skepta. It's like, yo, this guy is an OG, but this guy still is in the top ranking. He still can compete to this day. That's part of the reason. But also the fact that he's able to be so vulnerable for a rapper, and also as artists, it shows growth and maturity. Loads of rappers, once they reach a certain age, a bit like, what's it called, like Rick Ross' new album, like he's just talking about luxury and being rich. It's like, yo, Rick Ross, man. Like we know you're rich, but give me more. Like, I don't know, give me more, Rick, man. Like, it's just a bit.
That album's also trash as well.
Yeah. I can't like, the album cover just looks so uninspiring. And don't get me wrong, Rick Ross has shown it with some of his records, and I'm not knocking him for that, but I just felt like Gets was able to bring that into a full package, and I'm so happy for him, and that's the reason why I gave him my top favorite list. And I'm hoping he can continue, because it just seems like he can just perfect more things, then he can go on a serious run and continue to do well. That's for my top artist of the year. And most disappointing, and again, I'm actually not disappointed, and it's like what Henry picked, it's Kanye. But I've been disappointed with Kanye since The Life of Pablo. I remember hearing The Life of Pablo the first time, and I was disgusted by it. I mean, like, I was like, this is an absolute disgrace. I heard Yay, I thought that was absolutely disgrace. But then he did obviously the group project with Kid Cudi, which is absolutely phenomenal. But again, that Kid See Ghost is incredible. And Kid See Ghost, and also he's produced with Pusha T, Daytona. Like, just trying to say, Kanye's in a weird space right now, where in terms of group and working with others, he's able to produce stuff that is disgusting. But on his own, like in this album, Donda, it's absolutely bullcrap. And I don't understand it why. Because Kanye's always been very meticulous. And that's one thing I love being as a Kanye fan, is like, at a period of time, this guy was one of the most meticulous artists you would ever know. Every single verse has to be right. Do you get me? Like, you can't come with a throwaway verse. It has to fit the subject matter, and you have to hit the certain line. I think even Hit Boy and Big Sean came out talking about, like, yo, Kanye's one of the hardest to work with because he gets you to rewrite the verses. And you can hear it on record, like, I'm so appalled, bro. Like, every MC is like, yo, if you're not bringing your best A game, you're going home, fam.
It's true, because even on this quickly, even on my about Twisted Fantasy, like, he got Nicki and Ross to rewrite their verses.
Yeah, fam, and look how fire they came up with, fam.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
But this one is just like, with this one again. The funny thing is, it's not the guest verses that are letting him down. I think it's himself. Like, he's letting himself down. His standard has gone so low, and his melodies. Yeah, 100%. And his melodies are not even polished. Like, before, a Kanye melody is polished. Like, it's not a rough draft. With this one, you hear a little bit of rough draft. You're hearing as if these faint ideas, but with Kanye, everything is finalized to its maximum point, and you're getting the best out of him at 100%. But with Kanye, we haven't had that solo work, but with group work. So I'm hoping the best thing for Kanye is that maybe he'll get inspired and work with another artist again. Maybe we can get some sort of Kid See Ghost, because I think as a solo artist, this man doesn't care no more. But again, the numbers are very good, so I don't think he's getting hurt and that, and there's no change. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question, actually.
You go
on. One thing that's interesting that you said about Kanye is that, like, when he collaborates with someone creatively, it works.
Yeah.
But when it's him leading the creative, it doesn't really work. Do you think that now he's too far stretched in terms of fashion?
Yeah, 100%, 100%, man, 100%. Like, he stretched himself so thin, and I mean. And I think, like, and if I was his management, but of course he's not gonna listen to me because Kanye fucking works, he does what he wants. Like, I would be like, yo, just focus on one particular thing. Like, and if you have to do something else, leave that and then do something else, then come back. Because what seems to happen with this album is that, and you can see with the album rollout, he's just like, okay, I'm doing this. No, it needs to come out now, fam. And he's just stretching himself in. And I think Yeezus was the only time where he managed to get that right, where he was working like that, but he still managed to release something excellent. Do you get me?
But it was still early days in his fashion career.
Yeah, it was early in his fashion career, so it wasn't as stretched.
Yeah,
But he was also working under those time constraints that he puts himself. And I don't know why he puts himself under time constraint. Like, there's no need for him to put out an album in a year or 2 years.
Deeper as well. He's like a father to 4 kids.
Yeah, like why? Like I don't understand why. Like I don't know. But like, bro, we are like, you just take as much time as you need to put out the best work that you can as possible. But one thing I do give him is that he has grown with his subject matter in a way sense. He's got more religious element to it. There's more out of the family elements, so that's great. But I think the quality has just gone downhill, and I put him as one of the worst. And also one more as well, CLB. By Drake, but because that was also horrendous as well. So both of them are in the bag of horrendous piece of music this year. So yeah,
excellent stuff, bro. Obviously, hold tight CLB, hold tight Kanye, hold tight Miss Donda, hold tight Miss Gladys. So what we're gonna do right now, guys, is the final segment, and we are going to talk about what we want from artists next year. Let me just
okay.
So what we want, we want to talk about what artists we're revealing, what artists we are looking forward to release some music next year, or what projects we're looking forward to next year. And let's start with you, Money Man. What are you thinking 2022? Who are you looking forward to hearing from, or projects are you looking to hear?
There's quite a lot actually. Supreme Clientele 2, Ghostface Killer.
Oh yeah,
definitely looking forward to that. I think it's coming out in like February. So yeah, that's an early one. This rock band as well that I'm a big fan of called Interpol. They're rumored to be dropping an album next year, so I'm going to be watching out for that. Obviously you got Sold Separately by Freddie Gibbs coming out.
Yes.
That's always Freddie Gibbs is always going to be like nearly number one for me, or number one. Yeah, and then I think all of the Griselda crew are dropping out like sort of solo albums. I think Conway's coming out with one, Benny and Westside. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that Griselda sound, so I'm definitely looking forward to them as well. Off the top of my head, I need to look more into who's going to be releasing stuff next year actually, but off the top of my head, I'd say those 5 for now.
Some very big ones as well. I'm definitely looking forward to Soul Separately as well, man. Freddie Gibbs has been in a very good run, especially after his tape with Alchemist, so I'm looking forward to that as well myself. And let me just jump in, man. There's one artist that I'm hoping that they drop next year. It's K-Tronada. I need my guy to drop next year.
What do you think about his new EP? I did like the Her record. It was a very good song.
It's decent, isn't it? It's not. I like the Her record and the song with Thundercat, but I kind of feel like it's a taster. You get me? It's a taster. He's trying to. I wouldn't say he's necessarily trying new things, but he's probably just maybe these are throwaway tracks, or these are I'm experimenting with some things here, this, and then we get a reception.
His project from 2009 was probably like one of my top projects to 2019, so it was probably one of my favorite projects of the year.
Jarvis, you like that record? You like that album as well, innit? Well sequenced.
One of the best sequence albums, bro. This one of the only albums I've ever listened to on shuffle, and I didn't know it was the wrong way. When I first listened to that album, it was on shuffle, and I didn't even realize until I finished. I was like, "Oh my god!" What?
I thought the fit for it. I've never seen an album where like every feature works so perfectly on an album. Like every single feature was on point.
Every feature was on point. You knew exactly what to get from these artists, and to be fair, K-Tronada is very good with working with artists, especially the R&B artists, especially the vintage one as well. Like he's done songs with Craig David,
Ted Moses as well.
Ted Moses, Tinashe. Like he's really worked with so many people, and he's just able to get the best out of these people. And they're just doing simple. It's incredible. So I really do hope he drops something next year. For me, that's the only person I'm looking forward to, as well as I know they're gonna drop anyways. I wouldn't even say that, but my guy is currently
every year without fail, bro.
Every year.
What you got? Currency? You say Currency?
At least 3 he'll drop next year, bro. At least. In fact, funny enough, he's been working with Jermaine Dupri in it, so I'm actually quite interested to see
what that is. One of the worst. What? Well, that is
one of the most random like collabs ever, but I'm interested to see how that sounds, isn't it, bro? Kevin, what are you saying, fam? What project or artist are you doing?
I can't lie, I have no clue. Like I have no clue, and it's the same thing that followed up this year, where Gets came out of nowhere. Floating Points I didn't know was even releasing an album. I think all of the albums that have been on my list, they just literally come out and I grown to like them. But there's one person, L Sweatshirt, was sick. He's coming out with an album. So I'm hoping that's not going to be too experimental like the last few albums, because that's where L loses me a little bit. I do like when it's a little bit more conventional, because you can kind of get more what he's saying. So I'll put Earl on the list, and you know, as the year progresses, I'll probably be like, oh shit, that artist, you know. But yeah, Earl for me.
Sweet. Henry, what are you saying, bro? Artists or projects?
Bro, I got a few.
Can already guess one.
Yeah. I got a few. Money Man knows. The first album that I'm gonna mention, and bruv, he ain't released something since 2017, innit? And
I
thought this year was gonna be the year where he comes out, you know, but he didn't come out, you know, with an album or a project like I was expecting. So, you know, that nigga, like, obviously this is gonna be his last project on this label, innit? So hopefully, you know, after he gets out of his deal with this certain label, he can start to release music regularly. So obviously, I mean, you guys probably already know, but my nigga Kendrick, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kendrick, I mean, again, like, I've been eagerly anticipating his next album for years now, and I'm just so intrigued about the direction that he's gonna go in it, because like, I know for a fact, because I've been seeing things on Twitter and Instagram in it, that like, like, the album there's an album there in it, do you know what I mean? And it's almost finished. So like, I'm just intrigued about how it's gonna sound, because Kendrick's been out of the game for a minute now.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got our first sort of reintroduction to Kendrick on obviously the Baby Keem record, innit? The Baby Keem record that Baby Keem released a couple months ago. So I feel like obviously that was our reintroduction to Kendrick. But yeah, bruv, for me, obviously Kendrick's the best rapper alive. You know what I mean?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
is the album gonna come out? Because I don't understand why it has not come out this year. Like, it's just,
No, but it's to say, see, like I said, bruv, see Kendrick here, and this is why I appreciate Kendrick. He's not gonna release something if it's not right.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, the quality.
And I'd rather him do that. I'd rather him, take his time and get it right, as opposed to rushing it. Because another artist that, you know, I'm gonna mention is on the same label, and that's SZA. You understand? Yeah. And it's no coincidence that, and I think also TDE, what I read, you know, I don't know how true this is, but they sort of have like a kind of rota.
Yeah, I've read that as well.
Kind of like rota, and bruv, you man deep it. Both SZA and Kendrick haven't released anything since 2017.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So then I heard obviously that next year is their turn. Do you get what I mean? And that would make sense. Do you know what I mean? That would make sense, because I heard that normally it goes I think I don't know if how I don't know how accurate it is, but normally SZA and Kendrick, like, they come
close, neck and neck, close. Yeah.
And just in terms of their releases. So if that is true, then we should expect to hear something from SZA and Kendrick next year, innit? Do you get what I mean? So yeah, if that's the case, then I'm thoroughly excited, because those are the two albums from those two artists I'm mainly looking forward to, innit? You know, SZA again, Control for me was a great project. And I know SZA, she's released a couple singles.
Yeah, she actually has. She's been quite active.
Yeah, she's been active, and she's done really well in it. So I'm really looking forward to hearing the album. So Kendrick and SZA for me, and then obviously you got the one and only Frank Ocean.
Will we ever know, fam? Will we ever know?
That's why I didn't add him on my list, because I don't know if he's gonna release. You get me?
Yeah. We don't know if he's gonna release in it, but I do feel like he was probably gonna release something this year. But remember, obviously, brother died in it.
Yeah.
So that may be setting back in it, you know, because he released a couple tracks. Remember, he released a couple tracks in 2019, innit?
He had a good run from 2019 to 2020.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, I remember he released DHL.
That Spanish record, is that what you're talking about?
No, bro. He released a couple he released a
DHL,
couple
In My Room.
DHL, yeah, bro.
I can't lie, fam. I think I've been so stuck in blonde mode that I haven't even paid attention to any new stuff.
Yes, Elise, Release DHO and what was it called? In My Room, Jay, innit?
In My Room, and then Dear April as well. And
Dear
April,
yeah. So released a couple tracks in it. So I thought an album was coming imminently. But yeah, maybe because of the whole incident with his brother, like kind of setting back in it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to him releasing something either next year or the year after to get. And then for me, UK thing, J Hus. I want to hear something from J Hus.
You think he's coming out next year though?
Didn't J5 say the album was done or something?
Yeah, he said the album's done in it. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to Hus in it, because yeah, Hus is my favorite UK artist in it. So I'm always looking forward to hearing any new music from him in it. And then I'll probably say Pusha T as well.
Yeah. Push has been talking.
Yeah. And apparently the next album is going to be solely produced by the Neptunes and Kanye. So yeah. So you already know, like And I remember Pusha. I remember he was interviewed in it, and he said the interviewer asked him like, "Yo, so do you think this next album? Do you think is topping Daytona?" And he said 100% yes, 100% yes. And obviously that's a big statement to make. And I trust Pusha. If he's saying that it's topping Donda, not Donda, I mean Daytona, then where? Then then I believe him in it, because if the album's solely going to be produced by the Neptunes and Kanye, I mean, boy, you know what I mean? You might be in for a treat with that one. Do you get it? So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. And also Freddie Gibbs as well, like you man are saying. I'm looking forward to Freddie. Looking forward to Freddie. I mean, Freddie, he released a track a couple weeks ago, Black Illuminati.
Was that with Jadakiss?
With Jadakiss, yeah. I thought that was hard. I thought Jada's verse was hard. Freddie Gibbs' verse was hard as well. So, and even on an R&B tip, real quick, Ari Lennox as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to her releasing something.
When was the last release? Was it
2019? 2019, yeah. And also Miguel. I know obviously Miguel released
an EP.
I know he released an EP this year, but that was only 3 songs in it. So I'm looking forward to like a fully fledged album from Miguel. Do you get what I mean? And one more, Sampha. I ain't heard something in a minute.
See, that's another guy I didn't put on my list, because where's Sampha been since 2017?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying about Sampha.
Not even a single, and he did very well for himself. Not even a single he's released since 2017, I think.
No, he has. He's done like stuff for like movies and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, he's done.
He's just literally gone off my radar, and that album was on my favorite list as well for that year.
Yeah. So Sampha's the last one, but yeah.
Bro, that was a very strong. I can't even lie, bro. You reminded us of a lot of people.
Yeah. Some people I have to pick some artists from yours as well, and I did to like.
But Kendrick's definitely the one I'm looking forward to the most, innit? Kendrick's definitely the one I'm looking forward to the most. But yeah, any projects or albums from those artists that I just named, I'll be happy. Do you know what I mean? I'll be happy.
Guys, that is it. That concludes our 2021 album and song list, and also what we look forward to in 2022. Guys, let us know what you think. Are we missing anyone? Who are you looking forward to hearing from? You want to hear your thoughts, please comment down below. Also, you'll see we've made many a playlist that you can also see in the description. So have a quick look if you've got some time. You will do, because it's Christmas. So have a look. That'll be it, guys. But from me and the boys at Still Color, please don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Peace.